Hi everyone, this is a step-by-step easy, very much beginners friendly tutorial of minimal everyday makeup. Let's get started. I'm starting with priming my face with this primer from Inside Cosmetics. It's a silicone based primer which is very affordable and also an underrated one. I do not have much texture on my face, but I still use it underneath because it makes my foundation sit really well over it. Here I am using this concealer palette from Inside Cosmetics. I am using this orange color corrector to neutralize my dark circles and a little bit of pigmentation here and there. No matter how great a full coverage your foundation and concealer is, the discoloration will peek through and those areas will appear grey if you miss this step. I want to add a little note here. In this video, I'll be doing my entire base with my fingers. I know it's not the best professional way to do this, but I personally feel that fingers give me the best precision when I want to keep my base closest to my natural appearance. I do have a few tissue papers handy to keep my fingers clean for every other step, so it's not gonna be messy. Talking a little bit about this product, I have been using this particular palette for more than 2 years now and still haven't felt the need to replace it with a new one. If you are starting with makeup and don't want to spend much or even have the budget to splurge, you must give this product a shot. Moving on to the foundation, I'm using this 2% niacinamide foundation from Mekaup. If you are a regular viewer of my channel, you know my love for this foundation from Lakme. Sadly, it got expired in January this year and I was planning to buy a new one or a better one. Then I remembered of this foundation from Mekaup, which was once heavily promoted by the brand. But then I didn't see many people using this. I did my fair share of research and decided to buy this one in the shade 04 Caramel. Well, choosing a shade for myself was an extremely difficult task as they have only 7 shades. I saw someone 4 to 5 shades lighter than me using shade number 3, while another person 2 shades deeper than me was using shade number 4. My shade of skin was nowhere in between. I gambled with shade 04 Caramel and I was truly in awe how beautiful and perfectly it matched my skin tone. This is my exact shade. I don't know how people of various shades of skin are being able to use a single shade of this foundation, but apart from this disappointing element, rest everything is so good. I am really loving using this foundation on my skin. You can see how beautifully it's sitting on my skin. This foundation gives a very radiant glowing finish. On screen, it can look like it gives an oily finish, but in real, it is a very nice, radiant, glowing, youthful finish, which can be easily mattified using a compact or a setting powder. This is a medium to buildable full coverage foundation. It does oxidizes to a shade darker. Without setting the foundation with a setting spray, I have worn this foundation for good 7 hours and the foundation was still looking pretty decent for a foundation being worn for such long. With a setting spray, I have used this for good 10 hours. This foundation also has SPF 40 with PA+++. To be honest, I don't very much seek SPF in a foundation. It's not something I look for as a necessity, but yes, I do look for a decent wear time, a comfortable formula, and the kind of hydration which doesn't make my skin look oily or greasy. Okay, enough of boasting about this foundation. Let's conceal a little bit under my eyes and a little bit here and there, only on the places where it's required. Here I am using this concealer from LA Girl in the shade medium beige. I have done a detailed review and swatch video on my favorite concealers, which also include this concealer. In case if you're interested, I'll place the link of the video in my description box. Neither I'm a professional nor I have learned makeup, but by all of my good and not so very good experiences, what I can tell you is creasing is something very normal and real. It happens even with the best of the products and best of the makeup techniques. All you can do is minimize the amount of creasing with the minimal usage of the products. Now I'll take a compact and dust off some only on the places I tend to sweat the most. I never do this on my entire face because it ends up looking dry and cakey. Okay, so now that we are done with correcting, covering and concealing, let's add the shadows and desired pigments we just erased. For contouring, I'm using this contour blush and highlighter palette from Sugar. This particular shade of contour has just the right amount of warm undertone in it. I use the blush and contour from this palette. They're really good, but I am not a very big fan of the highlighter though. If you don't want to invest in this palette, Sugar also has this contour in a single pan. Here I am contouring very lightly. It's daytime, so I don't want any harsh contouring on my face. After contouring, I'm using the Slip-In Cheek Tint by Iba Halal in the shade Endless Mocha. I'll take the least amount of the product as it's pigmented and build it up slowly. I have done a detailed review and swatch video on lip-in cheek tints including this particular tint. In case if you're interested, I'll place the link of the video in the description. Now that my base is all done, I'll put on some mascara. I'm using this Lakme Iconic Volume Mascara today. It's a waterproof mascara, but to be honest, it doesn't give any volume. Unlike what the name of the product says, there are better options of mascara available if you really want volume. I use this one only because it looks very natural on my lashes. It gives my lashes but better kind of effect and doesn't make them look harsh and hard. Now moving on to the lips, if you also struggle with matching your lipstick with your blush, let me tell you what I do. It's nothing extraordinary, just a simple way of not getting trapped in the confusion. I take a lip liner, outline my lips, take the tint on my finger and smudge the lip liner very lightly. Once I'm done with it and have got the desired diffused effect, I take some more tint on my finger and very lightly fill in my lips. That's it. And lastly, I fix everything with a makeup fixer. I never ever skip this step. Makeup fixers work in a way that not just it keeps your makeup intact for a longer period of time, it also makes your makeup look even better. This makeup fixer is my recent purchase after I finished my previous one and it's an amazing one. I have stretched my base very beautifully for good 10 hours with this makeup fixer. That is it for this video guys. Let me know if you found this video helpful, and if you ever try doing this, do tag me with your pictures and videos on Instagram and I would love to share them on my stories. Take care. I'll see you in the next one. Bye.